Marble's kitchen table, and we'll talk about the things that are affecting agriculture today. Of course, today is the 30th day of September 2020. We'll usher in October tomorrow, I believe. And right now, we're going to take a quick look at the ag weather for the region. You know, neighbor, down in the farm country goes all the way from Abilene down to Corpus Christi. So let's pick a town right in the big middle of it that we have an affiliate station in. Let's go to Mason, where we have Lone Star 102.5 KHLB. Today, sunny, 86 and 56. Thursday the 1st, sunny, 88 and 56. Friday the 2nd, 83 and 55. Saturday the 3rd, sunny, 86 and 59. Same song, second verse on Sunday the 4th. Monday the 5th, a little cooler, sunny, 80 and 57. Tuesday the 6th, 83 and 58. Wednesday the 7th, 84 and 62. And next Thursday, the 8th, 84 and 63. Neighbor, Thursday and Friday of next week, we have a 20% chance of moisture, but that is the best chance that we have to participate in some precipitation. There's your ag weather for the region, using one of our affiliate stations' towns, Mason, as our weather station. So, right quick, let's check our commodities of ag interest. I remind you that you don't need to be using these prices to make a trade. It's just a snapshot of a price in time, so keep that in mind as you go on through your farming and ranching day. December corn, $3.64 even money, down a half. November beans, $10.75, up 7 3/4. Deese bean meal, $3.35.10 by the ton, up 3.20. Your December Kansas City hard red winter wheat contract up 16.5 at 4.92.5. December number 2 cotton up 84 at 66.13. December live cattle up 30 at 113.42. November feeder cattle down 25 at 143.45. And December lean hogs up 55 at 62.52. December U.S. dollar index down 47 points at 93.88. And your November West Texas Intermediate crude contracts up 40 at 39.69. Maybe there's your commodities of ag interest as close to the noon hour as we can get them.
I'm a cotton farmer.
I'm BASF.
I'm made of grit, passion, and hands that never stop working.
I'm made of agronomics, innovation, and hands that never stop helping.
I believe cotton isn't a crop. It's a calling. I'm made to grow it.
Protect it.
I know this is important to my family.
Every family.
That's why I work harder.
Innovate better.
To make my cotton as good as it can be.
As protected as it can be.
I'm a cotton farmer.
I'm BASF.
We create chemistry.
Neighbor, speaking of cotton and cotton farmers, after 2 hard days down, the cotton market held trendline support and recovered half of its losses of Tuesday, encouraging bullish traders to stand their ground today. Of course, there has been some slowness to the harvest with all the recent weather events causing some flooding. To that end, there is another tropical disturbance below Cuba. It may or may not develop into anything serious, but during this time of the year, all the potential patterns should be monitored.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me now? I'm on the Yunque farm in a very important section called an impact trial. To explain the importance, we have to go back in time. 7 or 8 years ago, the seeds in this ground weren't even seeds. They were just ideas in the heads of pioneer breeders. Eventually, those seeds were narrowed down and tested and turned into seeds ready for the final stage of testing, an impact trial. Pioneer plants hundreds of impact trials for each potential product all over the country, all managed by farmers, to help replicate how these products will perform in local conditions. The ones that do well, next year they'll go through testing again. An impact trial, another thing that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
Neighbor, now it's time for a quick visit to the Texas Farm Bureau Radio News Desk. I believe Jessica Dummel is at the mic. Jessica, what's your ag update topic?
Cattle on feed. I'm Jessica Dummel with the update on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. There were 2.85 million head of cattle and calves on feed in Texas feedlots with the capacity of 1,000 head or more September 1st. That's up 4% from the same time last year. Producers placed 440,000 head in commercial feedlots in Texas in August. That's up 1% from a year ago. Texas commercial feeders marketed 430,000 head in August, down 4% from 2019.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me today? I'm at the Center for Seed Applied Technologies in Johnston, Iowa. They call it the CSAT building, and it's where Pioneer tests Lumigen seed treatments. It's a gigantic 3-story high structure. I'm in front of several aluminum gravity tables drying thousands of separated bright red and green seeds. They're like rivers of color. Hold on, I'm gonna let someone pass. I can't tell you where else in this building these seeds need to go, but I can tell you why. Everything that's done here, from polymer testing to metering, is part of a process to develop seed treatments that protect yield against pests, like nematodes and early season diseases. Because better protection means better performance, means better yield potential. The CSAT building, another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
There were 1.06 million hogs and pigs in Texas as of September 1st, down 12% from September of 2019. Of those, 140,000 were breeding hogs. As of September 1st, there were 920,000 market hogs in Texas, making up 87% of the total hog inventory. For the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network, I'm Jessica Domel.
Neighbor Hop Singh says he is ready to feed us. Chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, plenty of Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad. Whether you want a glass of iced tea or a cup of coffee or a soda water out of that number 2 wash tub, grab yourself one, fill your plate, and let's talk to Benny Cox from Producers in Cargyle about the sheep and goat sale he had. Benny, how did it turn out?
We got along pretty good yesterday, Larry. We had 61-27. I was telling the guys I don't think we'll get to 6,000 again this year. Well, by golly, we did. How about that?
Yep.
We had a shipment from California and a big one out of New Mexico. A good many actually from New Mexico. Actually, they've been a lot stricter in that state. And I know one auction that a lot of people use over there just south of Albuquerque at Belen has been shut down. So we've had a number of consignments that come from there that generally would be sold at that auction, I believe. So that kind of helped get us over that hump, I guess. Compared with last week, I call these wool feeder lambs $10 to $15 lower. You have to take in consideration quality in that respect. Some of those lighter, smoother kind, they might have been close to the same. Looking at these slaughter hair lambs, they sold near steady. The slaughter ewes, they sold steady. Kid goats, kind of weak to $10 lower. The really fancy kind, you probably could have had to put them back down in that weak category. Some of those plainer Spanish and those not carrying as much flesh as they like, some of those sure $5-10 lower.
Benny, there are the trends for the market in San Angelo this week. We'll come back and get you to price the livestock after this word from the Family Ranch Rodeo Fest. Ranch rodeos are always good fun, and right now on the line is Andra Wiesen with Family Ranch Rodeo Fest, set for October the 3rd in Comfort. Hi, Andra.
Larry, good to be here. We'd like to invite folks out to the Youth Ag and Equestrian Center for our ranch rodeo. We'll also have mutton busting, goat roping, live music, and an auction.
And I hear there are some awesome firearms in the auction. Andra, tell us how to get more information.
Larry, that's easy. Just go to our website, ranchrodeo.org.
Now back to Benny Cox. Benny, price those sheep and goats for us.
On the slaughter nannies, that deal's awful good. 110 to 170, mostly 140 to 165. Kind of fell in place with last week. The mature billies sell from 190 to 220. Most of those billies over $2. The wool feeder lambs we sold in a range from 150 to 236. The lighter weights, these are your hair sheep type, from 190 to 270. Heavier weights from 160 to 230. On the slaughter ewes, they sell in a range from 70 all the way up to 110. You know, some of those blackface ewes, and we don't get a lot of those anymore, but they'll always tend to bring more, and a bunch of those sell up right around that 110. Most of those that we do see come from your show lamb people.
Right.
Kid goats from 220 to 328, but mostly 260 to 290. with some of those show prospects, and they're cleaning those pens up. You know, they've kind of picked out the top end and all that stuff. And the last, it's been going on for a month now. They're cleaning those things up. We had some of those sell up to as high as $370. So anything over about $330 would have been probably one of those. You know, it's going back to maybe sell to some of these kids that can't afford to. You know, there's some of these guys that jockey some of those things around for these kids that can't afford, you know, a $2,000 one to start with. Maybe they add on $100 or something. I see that happen frequently, and I think that's a good thing, you know, because a lot of them can't. Just to get in the ring and show is a great deal, I think. So,
anyway. Is. Now, cattle-wise, I know that we've been receiving some cattle from the West Texas receiving stations.
Yeah, Far West Texas has been sending us a lot of cattle. We got 4 loads of cows down there from one group. Now, a lot of those are Herefords, but they're using some black bulls now and have some black baldies and blacks. But anyway, we're going to pregnancy test a number of those cows, I know. So we're going to have another helping of that. Has made up a pretty big percentage of our cow numbers here for the last month, 6 weeks so far. So that's going to happen. We do have a special cow sale coming up on the 8th, and we've got a number of cattle consigned to that deal. We've got 50 heifers for one guy, bred low birth weight Angus bulls. They're Brangus and Brangus Angus crosses. Another 19 head of choice Angus. I know they'll be good. They've already been pregnancy tested. They're kind of spring calvers. And then 75 Brayford Brangus and Angus cows. About a third of those are pairs. So we're going to have a cow sale. ESA Beefmaster bull sale. They lease our facility. They've had bull sale here for 40 years or so. It's going to be Saturday. They sell about 135 of those Beefmaster bulls, and they start at 10 o'clock in the morning. So lots going on.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
They can call me on my mobile. It's 325-234-4277. The office is the same area code, 653-3371. Or they can always look at the web, which is producersandcargyle.com.
Ranch Rodeo, mutton busting, goat roping, and live music. The Family Ranch Rodeo Fest, Saturday, October 3rd in Comfort at the Youth Ag and Equestrian Center. There's also a great online auction with firearms and trips. For more information, go to our website, ranchrodeo.org.
Neighbor, before we catch another livestock market operator report, let's talk about something that is important to both farmers who raise crops and livestock, and ranchers who just raise a little bit of forage from time to time, and livestock. It's the wildlife on our place. It helps buffer properties from encroachment from communities. It also helps provide a means of income to farmers and ranchers, and it provides healthy environments for wildlife to live in. We're talking about the restoration of some of those environments on today's edition of the Texas Wildlife Radio Report.
Quail and pollinator habitat restoration. I'm Jessica Dolmel with the Texas Wildlife Radio Show on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. The Natural Resources Conservation Service and the Rio Grande Joint Venture are now accepting proposals from landowners in South Texas who are interested in creating or enhancing grassland bird habitat for pollinators, scale quail, northern bobwhite, and grassland birds. Jesus Franco, Assistant Coordinator for the Rio Grande Joint Venture, joins us again with more.
We are focusing our projects primarily on improving habitat for northern bobwhite, as well as improving habitat for the scale quail here in South Texas. And so depending on what specific project the landowner wants to work on, the minimum requirement for bobwhite projects is 25 acres, and the minimum acreage for scale quail projects is 160 acres.
They are considering smaller acreages depending on the expected impacted area and currently available habitat. To be eligible for this funding, landowners or managers must be in one of the following counties: Brooks, Duval, Hidalgo, Jim Wells, LaSalle, McMullen, Jim Hogg, Starr, Webb, or Zapata. The western half of Kennedy, Kleberg, Live Oak, and Willacy counties are also included. The deadline to submit a proposal is October 13th. Landowners work in coordination with a project manager, usually a local NRCS, Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, or Fish and Wildlife Service biologist to prepare and submit the proposal to the South Texas Grassland Restoration Incentive Program. Eligible management practices include prescribed burning, grazing, fire breaks, invasive herbaceous plant control, range planting, early successional habitat development, and brush management. Landowners must contribute to the project an equal amount to the amount of funding requested.
Your seed decisions require reliable advice from a trusted partner. Make that partner Nutrien Ag Solutions. Count on our local crop consultants for custom recommendations and access to the best performing seed in the industry to make your investment work even harder. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Now your class speaker, Sharpen Herbicide.
Wow, thanks everyone. What a ride it's been. Dominant performance in desiccation and weed management, rapid dry down and defoliation while reducing regrowth, years of efficiency. And whatever our future fields hold, we'll always deliver that same premium harvest aid.
Sharpen Herbicide, everyone. Your top harvest aid performer in any field. Always read and follow label directions.
For the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network, I'm Jessica Domel.
Neighbor, when you hear my Cowboys riding hard, they're headed all the way up to Abilene to help Henry Pickett start gathering cattle for next Tuesday's sale. Henry, y'all had a good one this week. I think numbers are up. How many noses did you count?
It turned out real well. We ended up with 1,145, about 320-something cows, but it turned out real well.
Good. Walk the pens with us. Give us some prices and talk to us about the quality.
Packer cows, the high yielding, everything was down $2 to $3. Packer bulls were down $2 to $3. The light calves are still kind of steady to $2 lower. 400-pound steer bring $150 to $180. 400-pound heifer $130 to $140. For the most part, on the light cattle, everything was steady to a little lower, but Packer cows continue to go down.
Good deal. I'm a numbers kind of guy. I look this year versus last year, and I know this is your first year in there as the ownership. How does it compare to last year as far as numbers that y'all are running across the yards that you have influence in?
Here at Abilene, it looks like we're probably at least 30-40% more, and especially on these cows, we're probably 50% more.
Okay, and the cow part of it is people are getting rid of older cows, or they having to lighten up? What's the deal there?
Well, I think a lot of it was we're pretty drowsy up until here a few weeks ago. Then we got some good rain, and they finally decided to cut loose of some of these older cows before they went into the winter.
Are y'all having the pressure from the rail side and the packer on the lighter carcass cows like we are down this part of the country?
Oh, yeah, it's gotten really bad in the last 2 weeks. These light carcass, these cows, I don't think they've got probably 70 cents in the meat, and that makes those light carcass cattle, longhorns, Corinths, stuff like that, worth 20, 25 cents on the hoof, so it's not very good.
Is there an option for people to, I guess as long as they've got teeth, they could bring them back and not sell them, feed them a little bit? Is that an option for folks?
So if they've got a little feed, the best option would probably be to try to get another calf out of them.
What do you know for next week?
Right now we know of there's a few yearling consignments, but nothing for sure.
Okay, remind people about the special coming.
We've got our first wean special calf sale in conjunction with our regular sale starting October 20th.
All right, Henry Pickett, Abilene Livestock. They sell them every Tuesday. Tell everybody how to contact you.
Here at the sale barn, we can be contacted at 325-673-7865, or my cell phone is 940-733-8208.
Thank you, Henry. Neighbor, today's Texas vet news rolls right on into what Henry and I were just talking about. Here's Dr. Bob Judd.
If you have a spring calving beef herd, checking those cows for pregnancy should be on your list of things to do for the fall. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Texas Vet News on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. I'm Dr. Bob Judd, and Bovine Veterinarian indicates that keeping one cow over the winter can cost you over $200 at least to provide feed and supplements, and this depends on your operation. And if that cow is not pregnant, that is money just wasted. So finding these open cows in the fall is well worth the money of pregnancy diagnosis. A recent study indicated that only about 20% of cow-calf producers use pregnancy diagnosis in their management plan. And even if you only find one open cow in the herd, $200 will pay for pregnancy diagnosis on quite a few cows. Options for pregnancy diagnosis include rectal palpation, rectal ultrasound, or blood testing. Of course, all of these methods require the cow to be restrained in a chute, and if you're in the cow-calf business, you need a really good chute and alley regardless. The advantage of ultrasound or palpation is the results are immediate, so you can send open cows directly to a cold pen, whereas one of the blood tests requires 20 minutes. The accuracy of rectal palpation, especially in early pregnancy diagnosis, depends a lot on the experience of the veterinarian. The blood test will accurately diagnose pregnancy as early as 28 days, but the cow must have calved over 75 days ago to avoid hormones from the previous pregnancy that could still be present. Rectal palpation can determine pregnancy around 35 days and ultrasound as early as 25 days. So check with your veterinarian about the best option for pregnancy diagnosis, but it is important to pregnancy check your cows.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me today? Olivia, Minnesota, next to a field planted with Pioneer brand Enlist E3 soybeans. This field looks peaceful, but like every field, there's a constant battle going on against weeds. Right now, the farmer of this operation is making a pass with what looks like a 120-foot sprayer boom. Enlist E3 soybeans offer the most advanced trait technology on the market. And while it's new to most farmers, it's not new to Pioneer. Pioneer experts and agronomists have already completed hundreds of on-farm trials, all so that acres like this have healthy soybeans with great yield potential. Enlist E3 soybeans on a farm in Olivia. Another thing that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
If you have any questions about today's program or any of our programs, contact me at texvet@txfb.org. I'm Dr. Bob Judd. This is the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Ranch Rodeo, mutton busting, goat roping, and live music. The Family Ranch Rodeo Fest, Saturday, October 3rd in Comfort at the Youth Ag and Equestrian Center. There's also a great online auction with firearms and trips. For more information, go to our website, ranchrodeo.org.
Neighbor, let's take a look at the grains, courtesy of John Tuggle. Call 800-288-4453 or 800-2-TUGGLE. That's Tuggle & Company, Corpus. Number 2 or better Milo, delivered to Corpus Christi in September. D's plus a $2 bill. 1008, we'll call Progresso 850 by the hundredweight. Number 2 or better yellow corn, FOB Corpus Christi area in September. D's plus 35, $3.99 3/4. We'll call Houston. D's plus 33, $94 3/4, and we'll call the Mexican Port of Progresso $7.90 by the hundredweight. Number 1 hard red winter wheat to Corpus in September. D's plus 75, $5.51. We'll call Houston. D's plus a $1 bill, $5.76. We'll call Houston beans. September, October delivery, November less 15, $9.78. And we'll call Placido, Texas delivery, November less 60, $9.33. Neighbor, we moved 221 bale of East Texas cotton, 490 bale of West. The prices range from $58.29 to $61.29. And neighbor, looks to me like we have run short of time. That's it for the noon edition of Down on the Farm, whether you're listening to our live stream or one of our affiliate stations. We appreciate you listening. We'll be back tomorrow morning about daylight with a big old heaping helping of ag breakfast. I'm Larry Marple.